Previously, we talked about starting with a basic plan, building on it, and executing on it using Chun-Li in Street Fighter V as our example. Now, let's look at how to make the idea more generic and apply it to other members of the cast. For Chun-Li, I use Stand Heavy Punch to control the ground. No matter what character you use, you need a poke to hit the space in front of you. A poke is a move you use to harass the opponent on the ground with relative safety. I look for something with good range, which also doesn't leave me vulnerable on block. I also want something that isn't too high commitment. I don't want to be stuck in situations where I can't anti-air because my poke is still out there and I'm not free to act again yet. I used back heavy kick to anti-air and later added stand light kick to complement that. No matter who you use, being able to knock people out of the sky is essential. You have to be able to stop people from abusing high-risk, high-reward tactics like jumping. You need to be able to move around, which will mean some combination of walking and dashing. How much you rely on one versus the other will depend on your character and the speed of their walk and the speed and range of their dash. Throw is the universal mix-up option to open somebody up. You'll always need some kind of tool to deal with an opponent who's just sitting there and committed to blocking. If you really wanted to, you could use something else, like if your character had a standing overhead attack, which must be blocked high, that you could mix into your attack strings. Finally, you need some way to deal with projectiles. With Chun-Li, I use the character-specific option of her crouch medium punch to go underneath them. But the universal option is a predictive forward jump followed by a jumping attack button with good reach. Since people asked about it, I wanted to show the process from start to finish. I decided to do a stream where I'd show the following, uninterrupted. First, I'd go into training mode and random select a character. I'll be locked into that character. Then, in training mode, I would work out appropriate moves for each slot we just talked about. After I did all that, I would take the character online in ranked matches and try it out. If anybody wants to sit through the entire thing, I've linked it in the description. But here's a quick overview of what happened. I random selected Birdie. For my anti-air, I had the choice between his crouch medium punch and crouch heavy punch. I could get more damage off of the crouch heavy punch, but the crouch medium punch seemed more reliable, it worked at more varied spacings, so I went with that. For my horizontal poke, I settled on his standing medium kick. Stand Heavy Punch had better range and damage, but felt a bit too slow to rely on as my one ground button. For my anti-fireball option, I decided to go with Jump Heavy Kick, as it seemed like it reached the furthest of his jumping normals. Birdie did have some other possibilities that wouldn't require me to jump, such as using his Can Throw V skill, but I wanted to show the character universal option of using a predictive jumping normal, since I didn't do that for Chun-Li. Starting with a jumping normal right off the bat also means I get a simple combo straight away. Jump heavy kick into my stand medium kick. There are also other bonuses. Jumping attacks can be used to air-to-air characters and knock them out of the sky. This can be really helpful against characters who can change their jump arcs with dive kicks or other character-specific abilities which can make timing a grounded anti-air more difficult. I jumped online with the goal of hitting at least Super Bronze rank, which is how far I got with Chun-Li before I added more moves to my repertoire. Getting to that rank pretty much played out exactly like it did before. Full disclosure, I did accidentally press other buttons here and there, either because of an accidental press, or because it's really hard to fight years of muscle memory and my brain screaming, "Press jab here," so sorry about that. Please don't angrily comment if you watch the full video and see me press jump medium kick or something by mistake. Ultimately, I stuck with the plan and it worked out fine. Regardless of which character you pick, as long as you have moves which cover each of these core needs for the game, you can start seeing some success in the early ranks of online play. There are a few quick disclaimers though. First, you might need to add another move or two right away. An example of that would be if your chosen character doesn't have one anti-air that covers most situations. You might just need two right off the bat. The other disclaimer is that how far your starter plan will take you before you need to add more moves will vary a lot from character to character. Ultimately, the concept will still apply across the board though. Start with a small number of moves, add more once you're comfortable with what you've already got. If anybody would like me to do the process with a different character, I'm more than willing to give it a shot. I don't know that I'd make a full-on edited video like this one, but I could stream it and then put up the match videos if you guys would like to see it. We've gone through this process with different characters within the game of Street Fighter V. So up next is the big question. How does this apply to a fighting game that isn't Street Fighter V? Thanks for watching and catch you next time. For more info or to help support the series, here's where you can go.